Hi guys, I'm Mario Frotto and this is Making the Case. Last week, Joe Biden was questioned about if he'd taken a test for his cognitive ability, and in typical Joe Biden fashion, he personally attacked the reporter. He actually, in the process, he showed off his mental decline. It was pretty brutal to watch. I'm going to play that clip and then we can talk about it.
Your opponent in this election, President Trump, has made your mental state a campaign topic. And when asked in June if you'd been tested for cognitive decline, you've responded that you're constantly tested in effect because you're in situations like this on the campaign trail. But please clarify specifically, have you taken a cognitive
No,
test?
I haven't taken a test. Why the hell would I take a test? Come on, man. That's like saying before you got in this program, if you take a test where you're taking cocaine or not, what do you think, huh? Are you a junkie?
What do you say to President Trump, who brags about his test and makes your mental state an issue for voters?
Well, if he can't figure out the difference between an elephant and a lion, I don't know what the hell he's talking about. Did you watch that? Look, come on, man. I know you're trying to goad me, but I mean, I'm so forward looking to have an opportunity to sit with the president or stand with the president in debates. There can be plenty of time. And by the way, as I joke with him, I shouldn't say it. I'm going to say something I probably shouldn't say. Anyway, I am very willing to let the American public judge my physical and mental my physical as well as my mental fitness.
Like I said, that was pretty brutal to watch. Joe goes after the reporter. He asks him if he's on cocaine or if he's a junkie, and he equates that to the reporter asking him if he's taken a test for his cognitive function. Now, Joe also said that he was forward to looking to debating Donald Trump, which really shows that cognitive ability there. Then he has a really hard time saying mental fitness at the end, which is just ironic, really. So this is really bad for Joe, and he's just not looking good at this point. Now, while we can laugh because Biden's really just a never-ending gaffe machine at this point, it's actually very sad to watch him decline like this. Clearly, the Democratic Party and his family should step in at this point and remove Joe. He's not capable of running a gas station at this point, let alone running the country. It's abundantly clear to anybody who has eyes and ears that Joe is really slipping now. And not that he was a really bright guy before, but at this point, it's just really sad to watch. Realistically, the party could have coalesced around any other candidate but Joe before Super Tuesday, and that candidate would have gotten the nomination had they all decided to drop out and leave in Pete Buttigieg or Kamala Harris or Elizabeth Warren. Pretty much anybody but Joe. That would have been a more respectable decision than this. Honestly, at this point, Marianne Williamson probably would be making more sense than Joe Biden. It's pretty obvious at this point that the Democrats' entire plan is to use Joe Biden to try to win in the Rust Belt, and then his choice for VP will be the actual president at some point. Now, I don't know if it'll be a matter of months or a year, but at some point, whoever this VP pick is will take over for Joe, and he'll either step aside or be removed. I mean, they want to talk about using the 25th Amendment to remove Trump. I think a Biden administration would be a perfect time to use that if he did win the election. Now, Kamala Harris is still the top pick for VP with the betting odds right now, but Susan Rice is a close second, and places like CNN are also pushing for Susan Rice. Maybe they're hoping to get that old Obama administration reassembled. But what's really interesting to note here is that Michelle Obama is in fourth place right now. Now, that's really a surprise pick for a lot of people. I don't think that she's going to be the pick, but Joe really needs something to energize the base right now and especially get out black voters with all the gaffes he's been having. But I don't think Barack Obama's really looking for his wife to be running, and she is not qualified in the slightest. I mean, the only thing she really did in the White House, I think, was work out and plant a garden. So she has no qualifications and no credentials to run on to be president right now. I don't think Barack Obama wants to see his wife personally attacked by President Trump. He knows how hard President Trump's going to go during this election, and the last thing he wants is his wife on the receiving end of those attacks. So I really don't see this happening, but I wouldn't be surprised by the pick. Joe Biden is supposed to announce his pick this week after those multiple delays, so let me know what you guys think below in the comments on who his choice is actually going to be this week. So Bernie Sanders, in a move that surprises nobody, has announced a bill he's putting forth called the Make Billionaires Pay Act, and it's essentially a 60% wealth tax on the 500 or so billionaires in this country on everything they've earned from March 18th until August 5th. Now, his rationalization for this is that they're getting too rich during a epidemic that's hurting the middle class, and that he believes that this money that they've made should be used to pay for a year of healthcare expenses for the United States. Now, he basically wants all out-of-pocket expenses for Americans on healthcare to be covered with this money. But this just goes to show you how ridiculous his plan is, because at this point, taking 60% from every billionaire he believes would pay for healthcare for just 1 year. So in order to do this indefinitely, you would have to take the same amount of wealth every single year. And that just shows you how crazy his plan is. And we all know that Bernie honeymooned in the Soviet Union during the Cold War. He's praised communist dictators like Fidel Castro. So this is really nothing more than Bernie being Bernie at this point. Bernie's a communist who hates millionaires and billionaires. And he believes that, in his words, when you are white, you don't know what it's like to be poor. And that's really odd because Bernie is white and he was poor and he's also a millionaire. But again, with communists, there's no reasoning, no logic at all. So Bernie's trying to make some white people like Jeff Bezos or Mark Zuckerberg poor, maybe? I don't know. And he'd probably be a perfect fit in a Biden administration, because we all know that Joe believes that poor kids are just as smart as white kids, whatever that means. But in all seriousness, Joe Biden is running as the most progressive leftist candidate in American history. 90% of his platform is actually Bernie Sanders' policies, so we really need to keep Joe and Bernie as far away from the White House as possible. I know we hear it all the time, but this election really might be the most important election of our lifetime. So it's really important that we all get out and vote. Guys, if you like this video, please like, share, subscribe, and stay tuned for more. Thanks, guys.